Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today I'm going to do my birthday book haul, because apparently every single video that I seem to be doing is a book haul. Whatever. I recently turned 31 earlier in the month of June, and I received a bunch of books for my birthday because I always ask for books and I always ask for Waterstones vouchers because obviously, I really like books. So I always do really well for my birthday in terms of book hauls because it's just something that I always know I'm going to want and I'm always going to ask for, and I come from a very, very bookish family, so we are always thrilled to give each other books for our birthdays and for Christmas. We actually have this great tradition of like buying each other books that we want to read and being like, oh, you're not going to start with that one. I'll go ahead and take that one for now, and then we just read each other's books, which is always great around Christmas because there's always stuff like shuffling around the family and it's always really good fun. But for my birthday, I received a fair few books and I also got a Waterstones voucher, and Dax is about to knock over this stack of books and I'm very, very worried. It's Dax the birthday cat. She doesn't like to be in my videos because she doesn't like to be held, so she's about to wiggle away any minute now. No? Are we okay with this? Oh, that's a first. Nope, here we go. So this first stack of books are books that I received as presents. I did not buy with gift cards or whatever. So these were all actually on my Amazon wish list, which is a very, very handy thing. We just kind of fire each other our wish lists around the holidays, around our birthdays. So I got a ton of stuff I've really, really been wanting for a long time, and I tried to kind of like curb my book buying around my birthday because I know that I'm going to be receiving stuff. So these are all ones that I've been wanting to get for myself for a really long time. The first of these books is The Embers of War by Gareth L. Powell. This is a space opera, and in case you can tell, because it's kind of beaten up, I've actually read this now. This was the first book that I read from my birthday stack, and I've actually bought the second one already because I really, really enjoyed this. This book follows several different characters who all come together. There's been this almost like a residential cruise liner type ship that's been shot down in a kind of area of disputed space, and so these characters are coming together either as a rescue mission or to find one of these passengers or for other reasons. So this book features one of my favorite sci-fi kind of tropes, I guess, which is sentient spaceships, which I love, 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 love sentient spaceships. And the Trouble Dog, who is the ship in this book, is amazing and wonderful. I really, really enjoyed this, and I have the second one, and the third one comes out, I think, next year. So I'm really loving this series, and if you like kind of like this super rollicking, fun space opera, and if you like sentient spaceships like I do, this is definitely one to pick up. The next book that I received for my birthday is Emily Eternal, and this is by M.G. Wheaton. This is another sci-fi book, and this follows a character named Emily, and Emily is an artificial consciousness that was created in a lab, and she was kind of created at the exact perfect time because the sun is dying much, much earlier than humans anticipated it would, and she is starting to come up with the solution to the problem when her lab is attacked and she has to go on the run with two humans. This sounds really, really good. I heard a couple of things about this book and I was very, very intrigued, and then everything seemed to drop off. I think it's a fairly new one, and I'm really, really excited to read this because in addition to sentient spaceships, I also love AI, so this sounds like it's going to be my exact cup of tea. The next book that I received is one that I'm very, very much looking forward to. I've had my eye on it for a long time. This is The Furies by Katie Lowe. The Furies is set in 1998, which is like, yes, super exciting because I grew up in the 90s and I love everything like 90s related. And it follows the case of a 16-year-old girl who is found dead on school property under mysterious circumstances, and no one really knows what happened except for four girls, and they're finally going to break their silence. This is a witchy book. Apparently it's been like compared to The Craft, and I think that the man who wrote The Craft is actually blurbed on this, so he read it and really enjoyed it. This sounds really great. I've been wanting to read this for ages, and I'm so glad I finally have a copy. I've been holding out for my birthday, and I'm thrilled to have it in my hands now. The next book that I have is one that I'm so, so, so excited to read. It's another one that I've been holding out for my birthday to get, and I'm so glad that I've got it. I'm really looking forward to this. This is The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. This recently won the Nebula this year, and she looked amazing, by the way. You should totally look up her dress that she wore because, like, I want to be her when I grow up. This book has been compared to Hidden Figures, which is nonfiction, obviously. That is a story that actually happened, and this is science fiction, but you can definitely see the similarities. So this book takes place in an alternate version of 1952, in which Washington, D.C. is struck by a meteor and is destroyed. And that meteor strike also triggers a extinction-level global warming on Earth. So of course, our only option is to go and colonize the moon or colonize Mars. We have to leave Earth. And this book follows a woman named Elma York, and she's a World War II pilot and a mathematician, and she dreams of being an astronaut, but prejudice against her being a woman, I imagine, keeps her grounded on Earth. So I imagine she's gonna change the world, she's gonna totally kick butt, and it's gonna be awesome. I am here for smart women, I am here for lady astronauts, I'm here for all of this. This sounds like an amazing book. I think I'm gonna love this. And the last book that I received as a gift is one that I don't know a huge amount about in terms of plot, because I know it's super weird, and I have a feeling that going into this knowing as little as possible is going to be the best idea. So I'll link it down below if you want to go ahead and look up the synopsis. But this is Other Words for Smoke, and this is by Sarah Maria Griffin. She's an Irish writer, and she wrote a book called Spare and Found Parts, which I'm really excited to read. I mean, I bought it ages ago, like all of the books that I have. It looked really great. This is her follow-up, and apparently this sounds like it is even better. So she writes really weird books, and I know that this is really weird and creepy, and it works apparently. It's just supposed to be really, really good. I've heard amazing things. A lot of people I know are reading this and really enjoying it, and I think it's going to be one that is really good to go in knowing as little as possible, as I said, and I think just sort of experiencing it, if that makes any sense. I really like the author on Twitter as well, because that's where I get all of my book recommendations, is from how authors act on Twitter and interact with their readers. She seems really great. This looks really great. I think it's gonna be something that I love, despite the fact that I don't really know anything about it, and I'm looking forward to reading this soon. Next are the books that I got for myself via gift cards. So all of these are from Waterstones, and I bought some books that I've been wanting to get for a long time. I picked up some stuff kind of on the fly, but also I went ahead and I bought some things that I've read and loved but don't own copies of anymore. So I've talked about this on my channel before, but if you don't know, when I moved from the US, from New York, over to the UK, I got rid of about 350 to 400 books. Almost every single book that I owned I donated to the library, and there were some gems in there that I'm still a little bit mad about. I had a proof copy of Throne of Glass, which I totally could have traded for literally anything that I wanted. So I took this opportunity to rebuy books that I've already read and loved. Some of them I'm gonna reread, some of them I'm not, maybe later on in the future, but I'm just really glad that I have these again. So the first three of these 4 books are all by Joe Abercrombie. Joe Abercrombie is one of my favorite authors ever. I love his books so much, and I still have a couple left to read before A Little Hatred comes out in September, which I'm so excited for. But I have read all 3 of these, and I really loved them. So I have Best Served Cold, which is a standalone in the First Law universe, and then I also bought the 2nd and 3rd book in the First Law trilogy. So Before They Are Hanged and The Last Argument of Kings. These books are brilliant, they're so good, they're grim dark, so they're quite violent and they're very dark, but I think that they're just a fantastic example of the genre. Even if you don't necessarily like grim dark, I think that he is so clever with the way that he twists tropes, and he's so funny as well. These are just amazing. I really, really want everyone to read them. I now have these. My Joe Abercrombie collection is complete until A Little Hatred comes out, and I have a really hard time justifying rebuying books that I've already read and I know that I've loved, because shelf space, but these are well worth it. I'm so happy I've got these in my hands again, and I would love to reread them. I'm not gonna have the chance until well after the next book comes out, but I do need to finish The Heroes and Red Country, and I'm also gonna read Sharp Ends, which is the short stories. So that's enough rambling about Joe Abercrombie. And so the next book that I got that I already own, but am definitely going to reread, is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I bought Assassin's Apprentice, it's around here somewhere. Yes, I bought Assassin's Apprentice earlier in May, and they didn't have Royal Assassin at the time, so I picked them both up. I'm going to reread these both and finish the trilogy, even if it kills me, which it might, because this book is so heartbreaking. But I just love her, and I need to read more of her books, and in order to do that, I need to actually finish the first trilogy. And then I have 4 final books. So to rattle through them really quickly, I got Endymion by Dan Simmons. This is the kind of 3rd book in the Hyperion series. There's 4 of them, and it's kind of a contained duology and a contained duology. So I've read the first 2 books. I've not read the 3rd and 4th, and I know that people don't love them as much as the first 2, but I'm such a huge fan of his Hyperion books that I have to finish this series. Next, I picked up Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black. This is a bind-up of 3 of her books. What is it? Tithe, Valiant, Ironside, and The Lament of Luddy Lou. I don't like fae books at all, but I thought The Cruel Prince was okay, but I really loved The Wicked King. So I want to give more of her books a try and see if maybe she's just the fae author that works for me. I don't know. I know very little about these, but I've heard that if I liked the kind of Cruel Prince and the Wicked King, I'm gonna probably enjoy these, so we'll see how this goes. Next, I have Malice by John Gwynne. I've been wanting to read this for ages. I have the 1st and 2nd book in his new series, which I think it's probably best if you read the first series first, because the 2nd series takes place many hundreds of years later. So I want to just hop on this. I really need to read these. I think this is the Faithful and the Fallen series. It looks really good. I think it's kind of boy fantasy, which I really enjoy. So it's lots of swords and battles and all of this. I don't know a huge amount about it. I just kind of picked it up because I started A Time of Dread, which is the 1st and the 2nd series, and I was really enjoying it, but I decided I probably needed to read these first. So I'm really looking forward to this. I love me a chunky fantasy book. This looks great. And last up, I picked up The Blood of Assassins by R.J. Barker. I need to read The Age of Assassins, but I think I'm really gonna love it. So I went ahead and I picked up the 2nd one. I have a bad habit of doing this, but I think that I'm really gonna enjoy these books. I'm also really looking forward to The Bone Ships, which comes out I think in November this year, which is his new book, new trilogy, and looks amazing. So I met him at MCM Comic Con in May, at the end of May, and he was lovely. He was wonderful, and he's such a kind and nice person. I wanted to buy his books, and I'm gonna go ahead and read them probably in July. So that is it from my birthday book haul, and I'm so thrilled with all of these books. It was such a wonderful, wonderful birthday. So thank you to my friends and family who got me books, because it's just the absolute best gift that you can give to a bookish person like me. If you've read any of these books, if you have a place that you'd recommend I start, if you have them in your TBR, definitely let me know in the comments below. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.